If you're after a bunch of lope and a solid increase to both mid and high range power, the B303 cam from Ford Performance would be an excellent choice for your 85 to 95 5-liter Mustang. Now the B303 roller cam will require the use of aftermarket valve springs for both stock or aftermarket heads and will be recommended mainly for stick cars out there, but AOD guys can get in on the fun when using an aftermarket stall. Price point for the cam by itself will be in the high $100 range, and the install, according to the site, will get a full-blown 3 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter and about a day's worth of work depending on your expertise. So the good old alphabet cam debate rages on, right? B cam, E cam, F or X, which is gonna be the right one for me and my 5-liter? Well, listen guys, I'm not here to stoke that debate. However, what I am going to do is talk to you a little bit more about that B cam and what it will deliver. So right off the bat, guys, the B cam is going to be a little bit peakier thanks to its longer duration when compared to that other very popular choice in the alphabet cam lineup, the E303. In fact, you're looking at 224 at 50 with the B cam compared to 220 at 50 with the E cam for reference. So that basically means, again, the B cam is going to perform very well above 3,000 RPM, whereas that E303 cam is going to be a little bit better for street use thanks to its lower end or broader power band. Now, because you are getting more duration here with the B303 cam, you are also getting that awesome idle, which can make the car a little rough around the edges on the street in regards to overall drivability and, well, idle. Now, despite having more overlap, the B cam is slightly smaller compared to the E303 when we are talking about overall lift, as the B cam is going to come in at 480 thousandths of lift compared to the E cam's 498 thousandths, both when using a 1.6 rocker. Now, expect those numbers to increase slightly by 30 thousandths when using an upgraded 1.7 rocker. But going back to what we said earlier about power band, and it is very important to point out, guys, that Ford Performance is going to state the B cam should primarily be used with stick car applications, unless of course you're running a little bit more gear along with a converter in your AOD equipped Mustang. Another big thing to consider, guys, is that going with the set of GT40 heads or something similar that will move more air will ideally maximize the potential of the B303 here. Now, the B cam will also accept stock pushrod length, but again, will require the use of aftermarket valve springs, providing you with at least 120 pounds of seat pressure, along with 295 pounds while open. Now, the specific spring or part number will differ depending on which head you end up going with, so just make sure you reference the site depending on your setup. Now, as far as your install is concerned, well, it's not going to be for the novice mechanics out there, so that's why the site did kick this one up to a full 3 out of 3 wrenches on the old difficulty meter, while calling the job at least a day or so to get completed, but that really does depend on your expertise when doing this type of work. But wrapping things up, guys, if you're looking for a legendary budget-friendly camshaft to provide your 5-liter with a little bit more power and a lot more lope, then you should definitely be checking out the Ford Performance B303 camshaft right here at AmericanMuscle.com.